In containerized environments managed by Kubernetes, pod privilege escalation poses a significant security risk, enabling attackers to gain unauthorized access to sensitive resources and potentially leading to a full cluster-wide compromise. This vulnerability occurs when a process running inside a pod unexpectedly gains higher privileges than intended, often due to misconfigurations in the pod's security context that fail to enforce proper isolation. Such escalations can result in unauthorized access to critical data, severe data breaches, and even complete control over the underlying host node, directly violating the essential principle of least privilege in container security. Among the most common misconfigurations are deploying containers in privileged mode or explicitly setting allow privilege escalation, true in the pod's security context, both of which open doors to exploitation. Other critical issues include granting dangerous capabilities like cpm_admin, which provides extensive system control, or using host path volume mounts that allow direct access to the host file system from within the container. Compounding these risks, running containers as the root user grants attackers maximum privileges upon any successful compromise, amplifying the potential damage across the environment. Imagine a real-world scenario where an attacker targets a misconfigured pod that has allow privilege escalation, true enabled, using it as the entry point for exploitation. Once inside, the attacker escalates privileges to access the host node directly, then uses this foothold to propagate and escalate further across the entire Kubernetes cluster. This enables dangerous lateral movement, facilitating unauthorized data exfiltration from multiple sources, widespread service disruptions, or even total takeover of critical infrastructure components. To protect your containerized environments, implementing robust mitigation strategies is absolutely crucial against these privilege escalation threats. Start with applying Kubernetes pod security standards and configuring security contexts to explicitly disable privilege escalation by setting allow privilege escalation false. Ensure all containers run as non-root users by default and systematically drop any unnecessary Linux capabilities to effectively minimize the attack surface. Adopt read-only root file systems for containers and impose strict controls on host path mounts to block unauthorized pathways to the host file system. Leverage role-based access control for fine-grained permissions and network policies to segment traffic and control inter-pod communication within the cluster. Make it routine to scan container images for known vulnerabilities, continuously monitor Kubernetes API activity and logs, and apply security updates to your cluster promptly. Deploy admission controllers, such as Pod Security Admission or OPA Gatekeeper, to automatically enforce and validate security policies during pod deployments. Enhance isolation by organizing workloads into separate namespaces and adopt secure practices for managing secrets, preventing exposure in your deployments. By proactively addressing these specific risks and diligently implementing these proven practices, you can dramatically strengthen the overall security posture of your Kubernetes clusters. Remain vigilant in your defenses, prioritize security best practices, and safeguard your containerized environments from the dangers of pod privilege escalation threats.